Good evening, and welcome to another Student Productions presents J&M Solved Halloween Special. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the stories you're about to hear. Don't worry, we won't scare you too much. Now here's your hosts, James and Matt.
Stop screaming. Your blood tastes better in silence.
I am James.
And I am Matt. And with us, once again, James, if you will.
Our resident law enforcement officer, Jack.
Yeah, I sorry, no applause tonight.
Oh,
I mean, I
it's
could.
spooky season.
It is spooky night.
I mean,
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
or wait for it.
That works.
Or if we're doing this number,
Oh. We need the Gene Simmons act space for that.
oh god,
Shit,
so-
shit. Stumped his toe. That sounds like my tinnitus.
those are the other four voices in my head. They're having a conversation. So, Jack, what do you have for us on this Halloween special?
Well, I have a few things we could talk about. Number one, let's talk about the holiday, Halloween.
Okay. One of my favorites, actually.
Well, it's the second biggest commercial holiday of the year. Christmas being number one.
Right.
So there's more money spent on Halloween than everything except for Christmas.
Right. Yeah, with the decorations and the costumes and
Correct.
I'm seeing a lot of, I'd like to say, the ones that really push Halloween under the table, dentists. If Halloween and Christmas are the biggest,
push it under the table.
yes.
I think Halloween would be a biggest holiday for
It's like
dentists.
a money
No,
boon
no,
for
no,
them,
no,
isn't it?
no, no, no.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is under the table they're pushing it because they
Oh.
can't come out and say, "Oh no,
yeah,
Halloween's
yeah.
great."
Right. I see what you're saying.
Deep down, they're thinking
Because I know a dentist, Shriner, at our Veterans Day parades and Christmas parades. He's like, yeah, throw that candy.
I mean, okay, if this was
I
the
will say no names.
if this was the 1950s, I can understand if a dentist says, "Yeah, go ahead, trick or treat, get all that candy."
4 out of 5 dentists say that Reese's Pieces is great for your teeth.
Right.
Because
Because
calcium, because it's milk and the chocolate.
how many doctors in the 50s are sitting there in your fucking room talking to you?
You know, Bob, you need to
You need these Chesterfields.
you need to drink more whiskey and have a smoke once in a while. You're stressed out. That's what your problem is. Of course, back in the 1800s, when women got anxiety, they sent them to the diddle doctor. Did you know that was a fact? Back in the 1800s, when women got horny,
Yeah.
basically, they called it anxiety. And they sent them to the doctor, and the doctor basically manually stimulated them to calm them down.
really worked.
And that's where the vibrator was invented, because doctors were getting carpal tunnel. Seriously, they didn't know what it was, but they knew it's like, God, my fucking wrist ain't working anymore.
Johnny Dare,
Totally off the Halloween topic, but
DJ in
interesting
Kansas
fact.
City, has an original medical vibrator that plugs into the wall.
Foot
That's
controlled.
got. Oh, I mean, it's got the medical bag and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And the only reason why he has it
You know,
is
you know what that,
because it's.
you know what that tells
it
me is life was tough back then, and the men worked entirely too hard, and they couldn't come home and fuck their wives.
Could
Or,
be.
or they lived in a one-room shack. So it was hard to get in a little fucking when you got 7 kids in the same room.
True.
But they figured it out to
Ooh,
get 7
wow.
kids.
They did. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but I mean, come on. 7 kids. That's 7 times.
You know, I have to wonder though, did the anxiety rate rise once this doctor started doing his thing? Because let's face it, a woman could go to the doctor and say, I got to see the doc. In reality, her anxiety's going away. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they create a new industry with this
Well,
anxiety thing? I'm just asking.
Okay,
You
hold
know,
up.
It's kind of like Big Pharma. They
Hang
figured out
on.
ways to sell dildos back then.
Hang on. In the 1800s, ketchup was used medicinal. Okay?
What did it cure?
I don't know.
I'm just curious.
No, it was used medicinal.
Well, so was cocaine and opium and heroin and everything.
Hey,
back then.
hey, don't you be talking about my Coca-Cola like that. Where do you think the cocoa came from?
Coca.
Yes. Okay, anyways, back to the Halloween topic.
Stop screaming.
God damn, that was loud.
That was loud.
That was pretty loud.
Shit, I'm just hitting all kinds of buttons over here.
If two little twins in little white dresses come walking in, I'm
We're
going
outta
out,
here.
I'm going out that window.
Halloween.
Come play with us.
Halloween started more than 2,000 years ago.
Wow.
It started as a Celtic festival called Samhain,
I can see that. Okay.
which
Wait a second. That was the name of a band.
which means summer's end in Gaelic. It was held in the beginning of November,
Okay.
which included a large feast and a burning sacrificial bonfires to ward off ghosts. That was what the original celebrations were.
Uh,
It was a warding off of evil.
what if they burnt sage?
Well, I don't know.
Because
Dude.
you know they use sage and like
All kinds of
exorcisms and stuff
Right.
like that. You know, this house has got a ghost. You burn sage to get rid of the
Perhaps.
evil spirits.
Okay.
You know.
I think that actually developed from Native Americans, though, here in the United States.
You could be right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
sage was a Native American thing.
In 1994, I saw Danzig at the Irvine Meadows Center, an amphitheater in Irvine, California. And up on the lawn were huge fucking bonfires that everybody was fucking moshing around and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
And it honestly looked like a fucking huge pagan ritual.
Right.
Because, well, I mean, let's face it. Glenn Danzig was he formed Sam Hain when he left the Misfits.
That's probably where he got the name Sam Hain.
Oh, I'm
from.
sure.
Yeah.
Very likely.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just, and it was Halloween night,
Right.
and it was just fucking creepy.
Yeah.
The jack-o'-lantern, it was originally in Ireland. That's where that started at.
Okay.
And it wasn't pumpkins that they carved. It was turnips, potatoes, and beets.
Because I don't think pumpkins probably grew too well in Ireland.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that the Irish, before the Great Potato Famine, were decorating potatoes?
Cutting eyes into them and making them into jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stick a candle up its butt.
it's no worse than some. Never mind.
He just lost his train of thought.
No,
No.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not going there with that train of thought.
Okay.
Well, speaking of pumpkins, what state in this country do you think produces the most pumpkins?
I'm going to say Pennsylvania.
Okay. James?
I don't know. I see a shit ton of them around here. I don't know if they import them or not, but Missouri,
Okay. You're closer. It's actually Illinois.
Illinois. Okay.
They produce 5 times more than the next state that comes close to it.
Really?
Yeah, so by far they're the greatest
Wow.
pumpkin producer.
Cool.
Well, I mean, they produce pumpkins. Their governors embezzle money. I mean,
It's got a long, twisted history. I understand.
I mean,
You can't carry your concealed carry weapon through. Oh no, you said Pennsylvania, right?
no, he said Illinois.
Illinois. Yeah,
Illinois,
okay, Illinois.
he said Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you can't carry your concealed weapon through, even with the permit from your state.
The People's Republic of Illinois? That's correct.
Well, okay, so you're only going to get stopped and searched if you're doing something fucking stupid.
Right. I drove all the way through Illinois with mine when we was going to New York. So
I can't tell you how many times I may or may not, I cannot confirm nor deny, that I have ridden my motorcycle through the People's Republic of Illinois with a gun on my chest.
you know, on that same token, I always wondered. Used to hear about these big drug busts on I-44.
Yes.
If you got 50 pounds of cocaine in the trunk of your car, why are you speeding?
That's a good question. Or why do you have a bad license plate?
Or a bad license
Or why
plate,
didn't you
or-
check your tail lights before you left?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, there's a million things you should have checked.
yeah.
Or the
Or maybe there was a phone call made. It's like, hey, we watched this place. This guy leave this place, and
That
they're coming
happens
through.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or you're an 80-year-old couple driving around Southwest Missouri in a shitty ass U-Haul truck, not moving. No, you're just driving around.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a meth lab on fucking wheels.
Yeah.
Remember the movie The Mule with Clint Eastwood?
I
Yes.
haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that?
No,
Ah, that's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
is it?
Good movie,
Okay.
yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you remember that movie Halloween Ends?
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh man, that was a good movie. Good movie.
What do you think was the original name for candy corn?
Shit that nobody will eat for 1,200. Alex.
That's not true. I love candy corn. Thank you.
Candy corn, and peanuts taste like a payday bar.
It does. Yeah, absolutely agree 100%.
I mean, candy corn, peanuts,
Payday.
tastes like a payday.
I couldn't agree more.
But what if you like the chocolate paydays?
Well, you just
Well, you're wrong.
exactly. I was going to say something else derogatory, but it's like I might
He's
get
just
canceled
wrong.
for that. Yeah,
It was called chicken feed,
chicken feed. Yeah,
and it was actually created in 1800s.
really.
Yeah, sure was.
That's why it tastes so bad. It was originally, it was
You probably don't even like circus peanuts, do you?
no, actually I do.
Well,
Wow.
But I mean, what? All the candy corn in the world was created the same time as the fruitcake in the 1800s, because nobody really eats a fruitcake.
they just get set. They get regifted.
Yeah,
year after
exactly.
Year after year.
Exactly.
There is one exception. We used to get, used to have fruitcakes given to us every year when I worked for the police department,
Uh-huh.
and I won't eat this stuff. It's nasty.
Right.
But my dad loved them, so
Oh, really?
I always gifted them to my dad, and
There
he
you go.
just thought the world of it.
Because fruitcake is kind of like Jell-O with
Fruit in it.
chunks of weird shit. I mean, sometimes there's nuts, and it's like
If you could turn fruit into jerky, that's exactly what's inside a
Exactly.
fruitcake.
Yeah. It's also a derogatory term for a man of feminine persuasion.
Yes.
In some circles.
In some
in some circles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not here on J&M
Not
Solve
our
the
circle.
World.
No. I've heard it used.
Yes.
In locker
yes.
rooms.
Yeah, where people are talking about grabbing women by the pussy.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
What do you guys have any idea what famous magician died on Halloween in 1926?
That would be
Harry Houdini.
Harry Houdini.
That is correct.
Yes.
He did.
yes.
See, you got one. The first official Halloween that occurred in the United States was in 1921 in a little town called Anoka, Minnesota. That's the first Halloween celebration.
Probably not Celtic.
No, I would think Nordic up
Yeah,
there,
I
wouldn't
would
you?
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, no, I'm thinking more Spaniard.
Yeah. So Halloween in the United States is just 5 years older than my mom.
Yeah. It's
My
about
my mom was born in 1926.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
That's crazy.
what 102 years old this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
It is.
Because for us, it's like that's been going on forever.
We grew up with Halloween.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, okay. We're also
What-
Gen
what-
Xers.
this is true. What was your favorite Halloween costume you ever done? I mean, as a kid or an adult.
Well, I haven't done Halloween as an adult.
Did you ever went to a bar and dressed up for their Halloween night or nothing like
No.
that? Yeah.
Never have. Halloween as a kid. You know, I have to think about that. Probably some sort of superhero, I would guess.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's yours?
Well, I done Rocky one year.
Rocky Balboa?
Rocky Balboa.
Not Rocky the
Oh.
Squirrel.
No,
I was thinking Rocket the Squirrel.
Me too.
And I'm thinking more.
my mom
Oh,
had
Bullwinkle.
my mom had a red robe, and I took masking tape and put Rocky on the back of it.
Oh.
And then I got into her makeup and everything and made my eyes all red and swelled looking and shit, you know, and little blood trickling. I was like, yo, trick or treat, you know.
Okay.
But one of my favorite ones, though, there was two of them because I won Halloween contests with them.
Ooh.
It was out at the Southern Star. One year I dressed up like Dracula.
Oh.
Okay.
And I just had short mustache and goatee at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I whited out my face, done the black around my eyes, and done the shading on my cheekbones and everything. And I still had hair at that point. Blacked it out and had the hair, and I wore a white shirt with fucking blood stains on it and black pants, you know. And I took blood capsules with me. And I'd go up to the girls in the bar, and I had the teeth and all that, but I'd go up to the girls I knew at the bar.
He still has teeth,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. They're
I
still
had,
real.
I had the vampire teeth.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
I'd lean over and I'd nip them on the neck, and then I'd crack that fucking blood capsule and let it run down their neck, and they're like, "Oh my god," you know. But then when it was time for the contest, I ended up winning the contest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
So and then another time I done a cyborg.
Oh, okay.
There was Walmart had these masks. They looked like skull masks.
Yeah.
And you could paint them and everything. Well, I painted mine silver, but I just cut pieces of parts out of it. I stuck like a part over my eye. And it come with like latex, like putty. You put that around there, and then you go with the liquid latex, and then red, and where it looked like your skin had got ripped off that metallic skull underneath. Wore a leather jacket. Then the Terminator.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I was in the finals at the Halloween contest, and I was competing against two girls that was dressed like whores.
Who won?
I did,
Nice.
because some guy in the audience goes, "He spent some fucking time on that. These girls dress like they do every fucking weekend." I won the contest. So
Nice. For me, it would have to be when I was in the Army and I dressed up like Captain Spaulding. Now, I took the skull cap.
you know who's Captain Spaulding is?
House of a Thousand Corpses?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had cut the skull cap to where it fit, and I took the white makeup up over the line. And obviously, I didn't have hair like I do now, but I still had hair. And I was in the mirror, and I had a picture of Captain Spaulding on my phone, and it was a smaller phone, and I had better eyes at that time. But I did all the makeup my own. I got a fake beard and did the white on it, and I had a shirt that said "Don't be," and it had a picture of a rooster and a picture of a lollipop.
Gotcha.
And so as soon as I walked into this party, everybody was already on edge because I'm dressed like a clown. And
And everybody hates clowns.
right. Halfway through the night, I start sweating and I pull that bald cap off, and everybody's like, "Whoa, dude, you've got hair." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I've got fucking hair.
I'm not going to commit to the costume and shave my fucking head.
No, it's bad enough that I got to shave my face."
That's overkill.
I was looking at Captain Spaulding one year, and I was real close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because head was shaved and just the scrub, the little goatee and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I could do that with just a little bit of paint. That would be fucking easy. And I told the wife, she's like, absolutely fucking not.
And
Because
see,
we watched House of a Thousand Corpses. She's like, no.
and that's one of the reasons why I didn't do makeup this year. As much as I love to play on people's fear of clowns, I got to sleep here. And I've tried sleeping in my truck.
Our costumes last year was pretty good, though.
Oh, they were.
I mean, Mankind, Undertaker, that worked. I don't know if you've seen pictures of that.
I have.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hell in a Cell, 1998, King of the Ring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
And the height difference is enough, and it looked good. you know?
yeah, it did. It did.
Although I will never wear fucking eyeliner again.
Wipe it off later or what?
No, my eyes. I'm like going. Oh no, you fucking girls do this shit.
Yeah. And doing the podcast, I mean, you think it's warm now, but somebody who hasn't had hair in a few years, all of a sudden is wearing a wig and a hat. And
I had to take the hat off though to put the headphones on.
right.
But then the wig was. My headphones kept sliding.
Yep. So the wig came off, and
We done that for the after dark. I took the wig off.
yeah.
Nice.
But I like it. Even as an adult, I like dressing up. I think it's fun. It's just, what the fuck? Why not?
Well, if you go to a Halloween party or something, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy just dressing up like a clown.
In high heels.
Only on days that end in Y.
Well, everybody's got their fantasies.
Fantasy hell. Do you understand I live in Kansas City?
I'm surprised you haven't dressed up like the transvestite and Rocky Horror Picture Show yet. I'm really fucking surprised.
Dude, if I didn't have to shave, I would have straight up been fucking Dr. Frankenfurter. or
Let's do the time warp again.
Or even Riff Raff.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the big hump.
Yeah.
The master will see you now. Anyways, Jack.
Yes. Let's talk about movies a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Exactly. Let's talk about what movies do you think are now this would be fans, not necessarily by box office.
Okay.
What movies have been rated the scariest of all time?
I want to go with The Exorcist.
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
good one.
The Exorcist is number 1. Rosemary's Baby is number 7.
Okay.
Okay.
I agree. They're
That's
both very frightening
Now-
movies.
I can honestly say, as an adult man, I have still not watched The Exorcist
Okay.
ever.
I've watched The Exorcist.
When the commercials came out in '73.
Yeah, somewhere in that range, 72, 73, something like that.
I seen the commercials on TV, and I'm like,
Scared you?
I'm out.
So
And I've had a weird deal about that ever since. I don't mind a fucking slasher movie or even fucking House of a Thousand Corpses or Devil's Rejects, stuff like that. That doesn't bother me. But anything that deals with demonic possession,
And is based on a true story,
yeah,
is over the top.
that's
Now-
kind of because the other shit. I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacres was a real event,
kind of.
but they Hollywooded up it a lot,
Oh, yeah, because
You
they
know.
moved it from Minnesota to Texas to begin with.
right?
And Ed
but-
Gein wasn't running around chopping people up with a chainsaw.
But there's, I mean, yeah, could there be some fucking dude in the fucking woods with a fucking hatchet chopping you up like Jason? Sure.
Could be.
But if you put 9 millimeters in his chest, he's probably going to die.
End of story. But how do you do that with the Prince of Darkness?
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you do that with Ozzy?
Yeah, what's Ozzy doing to you, man? He can barely walk now. Shit.
that.
So
You know, I was talking this shit, and it's like I'm in this fucking wheelchair, and I want to play one more fucking time.
So, I've seen The Exorcist, and it's the only movie still to this day that scares the fuck out of me.
Yes.
Now, because of my older brother, my younger brother and I have sick sense of humor. The scary movies aren't a big deal, and at first I'm thinking, the reason why The Exorcist scares me is the demonic possession.
Right.
You know, the religious tone to it. But then the Omen movies, Damien,
Those didn't bother me that bad.
those didn't bother me.
Yeah.
The Exorcist of Emily Rose, or anything other than the original Exorcist. Amityville Horror didn't really.
Amityville Horror didn't bother me. That was just a ghost story.
Right.
But the second one bothered me because that was a demonic possession, and the kid killed his whole fucking family. And that was a true story.
It was.
Whether he was demonically possessed,
It's a whole other thing. He did kill his
high
family.
on PCP or whatever the fuck.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, because the story of Amityville was make believe, but it's like the Blair Witch Project. One person told one person, and they did it in such a way that this other person believed in it. So it just got passed down that's what actually happened.
Are you
And
saying the murders didn't happen?
correct.
Actually, they did. Ronald DeFeo killed his entire family.
But not in the way that it was portrayed.
Oh, they did?
He shot him with a
Shotgun.
rifle, shotgun, some sort of long gun.
Look, all I'm saying is
Well,
there was
Hollywood-
nobody that walked in and said, "Get out."
Well, you're talking about the first one then. But
Yeah.
we're talking about the second one. With
Right.
The boy killed his entire family.
But I'm talking about the first one that didn't actually happen. And
There's blood in the toilet. That's peculiar. No, your wife's on the rag.
you got an ulcer, motherfucker. Quit drinking.
Hemorrhoids are horrible.
He got the piles, man. Have you heard the piles in a long Have you heard that statement in a long time?
No.
I remember that growing up as kids. Like, oh, well, so-and-so, he's got the piles. He can't get to work today.
I had of all things one time gout. You ever had gout?
In your foot?
Yes.
Yes.
And you think, wait a minute, I thought kings got this in the 1700s. Why is it affecting me?
It's actually an overloaded protein.
It is. It is. Yeah. It creates a certain acid that attacks the joints.
Yep.
It's horrible. Absolutely
In
horrible.
your foot and your toes. And,
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You don't even want a stiff breeze on it. It's how
I
it
mean,
hurts.
My
an
neck-
overload of protein, and Jack was a cop. And there was a female cop in Tennessee who was having sex with her whole squad.
What's the correlation here?
I don't know.
You thought she had gout. Because
Really?
she got an overload of protein.
Yes, she did. 10 shots at a time.
skeet. Oh!
Oh, you're a bodybuilder? Here, let me help you out.
Number 2 on the list is The Shining.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Not one of my favorite scary movies. It's
No, but it's creepy as fuck.
there's a lot of suspense and weirdness to it, but
I don't know if I've told you this story or not, but the first time I went to Vegas for a Q event, we were staying on the 22nd floor of the Orleans Hotel.
uh-huh.
Or no, we were staying on like the 5th floor, but the hospitality room was up on the top floor, and you had to walk down this fucking hallway.
Oh boy.
It was like 600 feet
Oh boy.
because we counted how many squares there was, and it's like, that's 600 fucking feet. It looked like a hallway in that fucking hotel in The Shining.
With the 2 little girls at the end?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Come play with us.
And I'm, because main reason I went to that hospitality room was because there was a balcony and you could go out and smoke and drink, you know. And one night I was pretty in my cups, you know, and I was like, I got to go to bed. And so I walked out that hallway and I looked down that motherfucker, and it's kind of like in the movies where it goes, pew. You know, and I'm like going, if I see 2 little fucking twins standing at the end of this motherfucker, I'm out the window. I don't give a fuck if we're on the 22nd floor. So it was fucking creepy. You know?
Okay, so here's some shit that's just fucking off the wall about The Shining. The Simpsons did one of their Treehouse of Terrors about The Shining. In the movie Ready Player One, there's a part in the movie that deals with The Shining. and because it was the book that somebody liked, yada yada, blah blah blah.
Right.
But it has that scene where they're walking down the hall, and there's the two twins. One person goes into the room, and there's that. There's that beautiful woman in the tub, and then it turns out to be a fucking zombie. And then there's the scene where the blood is coming down the stairs and everything, and it's just like, yes, I will agree that is a creepy fucking movie. But it's so captivated in, there's parts in The Shining that show up in pop culture.
Right.
Just like there's very few parts of The Exorcist.
Johnny.
Yes, exactly.
That pops up everywhere, used to especially.
The only part that really shows up in pop culture for The Exorcist is the head spinning around and the
spewing of the
pea soup, the split pea soup.
Yeah, the part where she shoves the cross up her pussy, that's not in pop culture.
No.
The levitation too, kind of.
Yeah, the levitation. Yeah, that's been used in several movies since the levitation and.
Yeah, and Linda Blair was kind of fucked up for a number of years because she was young enough and she didn't know what she was saying. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until later that she went like, not quite Carrie Fisher off the rails, but she went off the rails for a while.
But she was also typecast.
Yes.
Once you play a pea soup spewing, head turning around demon child,
it's hard to get away from that.
It's going to take you a little while to get a romantic role in a rom-com.
I mean,
even though Linda Blair was quite attractive.
Yes.
Yep.
As a woman,
Oh, okay. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Scream Queen.
Right. But she only did Halloween 1 and 2.
Right. But that was her.
Yeah.
Her tag for years was she was a Scream Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't until she got into her late 30s, early 40s, coming to America and stuff that kind of broke her out of that.
That was an amazing scene.
No. That was the early 80s. That was shortly after she did.
Well, that's true.
The Halloween.
That's true. So she'd have been. Her movies were amazing, no matter what.
Dude, the extras for Trading Places on the anniversary.
I'd like to see them again in True Lies to see if they held up.
That dance scene in True Lies was also amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't get to see no nipples or nothing, but
Didn't have to.
Still, yeah.
She still had an amazing body, didn't she?
She was well into her 40s then.
Yeah.
Halloween Ends. I mean, yeah, she's wearing frumpy grandma clothes, but you can still see she's got a hell of a fucking figure. Mm-hmm. But in the documentary for Trading Places, and I know, folks, we're getting totally off subject of the Halloween, but it's fucking Jamie Lee Curtis.
Scream Queen. That's where the Halloween comes in.
There we go. They were talking to John Landis and Dan Aykroyd about that scene, and they both, separate interviews, they both just went,
I bet they did.
I mean, because Dan Aykroyd was like face in, like.
They're like, cut. Dan's like, I got $100. I got $1,000. Whatever it takes. Okay, back on point.
Number 3, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, okay.
4 would be Alien.
Yeah.
Which had some pretty amazing scenes.
That was the first movie that really had a dominant female lead.
Yep.
With Sigourney Weaver.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before that, the females were always just the victims.
Yes.
Not her. She was a fighter.
Yeah.
For her. Number 5 is Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, Janet Lee.
Yes.
Yep.
Number 6, referring back to what you were talking about in a recent podcast, The Thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not the hand creature from Adam's Family.
That's correct.
Right.
Which is
It
an
was actually-
spooky,
And we're talking the Kurt Russell version, too.
but yes.
Yes.
Number 7, like I said, Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
Number 8 is Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis.
There you go.
Yeah. Number 9, Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
Whoa. Does it give which one?
1978 version.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
George A. Romero.
Yeah.
Yes. And number 10 is a movie we don't necessarily associate with Halloween, but it's definitely scary, and that's Jaws.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scared the shit out of me for a while when I was 8 years old, 9
Who
years
wanted to
old.
go in the water after that?
I didn't want to take a bath. What are you talking about? We're going to need a bigger boat.
Much bigger.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour. Do you guys remember that scene?
Yeah, on the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it got right to my head. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Comparing scars.
What? You're wearing a sweater? Mary Ann Murphy. She broke my heart.
That's, and to be completely honest, you could say that Lethal Weapon 3 played homage to Jaws when Rene Russo and Mel Gibson's characters started comparing scars.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. 344s.
Yeah.
check out this here. Drug down Santa Monica Boulevard. Check out the texture.
Let's talk about scariest movie icons. Persons in movies that were just scary.
Okay.
Who's number 1?
Michael Myers.
Good guess.
Alfred Hitchcock.
No.
Are you talking about
We're
characters
talking
in
about
the
characters
movies?
in a movie.
Oh, Freddy Krueger.
Okay,
I want to say Jason.
Jason. No, Jigsaw.
Oh,
Well, this is fans.
I understand.
Okay,
I understand.
hang on,
I've never
hang
watched
on.
those movies.
Now,
you haven't?
I've watched
The
a few
Saw.
of them.
I've seen a couple of them.
And I'm like, I'm not a big fan of that genre.
now, are
I
they
mean-
talking about the actual Jigsaw or the puppet, which is known as Billy?
They were talking about They showed a picture of the puppet when I was
Okay.
researching.
So that's actually Billy because the
I mean-
human behind it
I mean,
is Jigsaw.
I mean, as a character, yeah, that's a scary fucking puppet.
Yeah.
Kind of like Annabelle,
Yeah, yeah. Chucky.
Which Annabelle didn't even make the list, which I'm surprised.
Wow,
Really?
yeah.
However, you said Jason.
Mhm.
Jason was number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Have,
So
you,
Jason beat Freddy.
have either of you seen a movie called It Follows?
No.
No.
Well, there's something in it called The Entity, and it made number 3. I'm not familiar with that myself.
Is that something to do with the It movies?
No, it's a movie called It Follows,
Huh.
and
okay.
it's not like a sequel
Not
or anything.
associated.
No.
Okay.
Number 4 is Reagan McNeil from The Exorcist.
Okay.
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 Yep,
Yeah.
the little girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
Number 5 is Chucky from Child's Play.
Right. Actually, thinking back on it, Reagan probably scared the shit out of me. That I didn't even watch the movie. So
Exactly.
you know.
It worked.
Yeah.
Michael Myers made number 6.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Chatterer from Hellraiser. Do you remember the Hellraiser movie? Remember the chattering teeth one? He
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
number 7.
Really?
He beat
Yes.
out Pinhead.
He did. Pinhead never made the list.
Wow.
Pinhead was pretty spooky, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was fucking British with the language,
Right.
and the voice,
Yeah.
and all the pens, every square inch on his
Right.
face.
Yeah.
And I mean, that alone right there was just enough. Not talking about everybody else that he fucking changed, like the fucking news cameraman whose fucking eye becomes the camera, and
Right.
yeah.
And the girl that her voice box was opened up, and yeah.
There was one that had the hooks in the mouth, like Vic Rattlehead.
Vic Rattlehead from Megadeth.
Yes.
You know, not that they made the list, but I got to tell you, if you saw,
Look at.
if you saw 13 Ghosts,
Oh,
Yes.
goddamn, yes.
there was a lot of characters on there that were spooky.
That was a fucked
That
up
mama
movie.
and that big baby looking thing,
Yes.
and the Juggernaut.
Uh-huh.
Oh, those things were crazy.
That movie freaked me out for a little while as an adult.
yeah, yeah.
I watched that. I think, well, there's another one we'll talk about later that really freaked me the fuck out. But I watched that one. I'm like, whew, okay. Is there a Cheech and Chong movie on
Gotta
somewhere
reset
or
here.
something? You know?
Feed me, Seymour.
I need something to dumb me down after that shit. You know?
It was gory, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That guy getting cut in half by that glass door was
Oh, because it done it
Yo.
vertical. Just,
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
And he
yo.
just slid off.
just, you could see parts of it. I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, Resident Evil. When
Yes.
that dude's jumping the laser, and then all of a sudden it goes sideways and it goes cubed,
Yep.
and it passes through the guy, and he's just sitting there, and then all of a sudden it just
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay.
Which, that was another good set of movies, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mia Jovovich.
Number 8 is Pennywise from It.
Yeah.
And I
Whi-
got to tell you, the new It,
Which
Pennywise
one?
is, well, it did not say, but I got to tell you, the remake, believe me, Pennywise was much creepier than that.
Yes.
Right.
Tim Curry did good in the first one, but
Right.
Okay,
That was
so
the
80s.
80s.
Yeah.
Early
yeah.
80s. Yeah.
So the guy that plays Pennywise in the 2 newest movies, he can actually take his eyes.
Separate them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the set with somebody, and I forget who it was, but they were like, hey, man, that was a great effect, and yada, yada, talking about it. And then because he was in full Pennywise costume, and he just fucking separated his eyes, and they were like, whoa, fuck.
This interview's over. Get me the fuck out of here.
And, he did the actual voice, too. They didn't
Yes.
dub in anybody.
Right.
He really did an amazing job.
Oh, he did. He
Yeah.
did. But the thing is, and this is what I like to say, going back, especially for Gen X, the biggest reason why clowns scare so many Gen Xers, Poltergeist,
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pennywise,
Yes.
Yep.
and then kind of a comedic horror movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Those are some creepy looking clouds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was the thing is, they were clowns, but yet we were also the generation that grew up with Bozo.
Right.
Every morning before school was the Bozo show, and you had Bozo and you had Cookie.
But we also had Homie the Clown.
And Ronald McDonald.
we don't play that.
Hold up. Homie the Clown came later.
Yeah, I know.
90s.
But it's still
But Ronald McDonald's been around since, what, the 50s, 40s?
something like that. Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah, way back. I
Well,
mean,
Roy,
we
what
weren't-
about that butt plug? I mean, that taste bud, Grimace.
I mean, we weren't scared to go buy McDonald's because of the clown.
No, as a matter of fact, if you walked into a McDonald's that had a Ronald McDonald sitting on the bench like
Right.
this,
Oh, you had to sit by.
you got your fucking picture taken next to Ronald
Absolutely.
motherfucking McDonald.
Come on, Mom. Gary got the Polaroid. For those people who don't know what a Polaroid is,
No,
you're
no,
too new.
Nope. No, not even Polaroid.
Are you talking
Because
about
some of
you're
us-
talking about a 110 Kodak?
Oh yeah, some of us were poor.
With the flash cubes that.
No.
The 110s had the built-in flash.
Yeah, to where you had to. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Remember,
And it was-
they were about like
Yes.
yay big,
Really
you know,
thin.
really
and
thin.
Yeah, or they
Stuff
were like
that.
this,
And they had the flash over here, and you could turn the flash on or off.
Yeah.
and the cartridge is about like that.
But you
and
had
it
to take.
two
But you had to take the.
spools.
I mean, once you got done, you was like, some of them had an automatic advance, but most of them were just.
Yep. It was the push button. It was like,
Well, the Polaroids actually came out before them.
right.
I mean, my dad had an old Polaroid back in, oh shit, when I was a little kid, and it was big. But you'd take a picture, and then you actually had to pull it out,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
and then peel it off, and
Air it out for a little bit.
lay it down. You could sit there and watch it just come.
And that was
And then that little, what was it? It was a Polaroid brand.
mm-hmm.
It was the one shot. It's like it was a little cube looking
Yeah,
thing.
and you flipped it up, and then it had the
You flipped up
flash.
the flash, and you like.
No, it
and
was
then-
it was in. It was you pulled it
Right,
in.
right,
It was
right.
like, and it.
They did the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But then here's the funny part, because Outkast had a song, and in one of the lyrics was "Shake it like a Polaroid,"
Right.
and Polaroid actually came out and said,
Polaroids.
Yeah.
"Yep." Polaroid actually said you're not supposed to shake those cameras.
That's me with the strippers, but you know. That's how you got I've got a couple Polaroids from the '90s, from wrestling events where they done an intermission and you got to get in the ring. That's
Yeah.
where I got my picture taken with Bam Bam Bigelow, with Psycho Sid or Sid Vicious,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call him. It was give him $5 and you get in the ring, pose with the guy, they hand you your picture and get the fuck out of the ring.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Now, like we went and seen Black Label, they take your picture and they give you the website where that picture's going to be on.
Unless,
really? Yeah.
yes, unless,
But they also let us take pictures with our own
Right.
cameras, with our own phones.
right,
But
Because-
if you wanted their
Like-
their picture that was centered,
right.
you could go on the website and you could get the picture and you could download it and print it off if you
Purchase
wanted
it off their website.
to.
No.
No, it was free.
Free?
It was
Yeah.
it was part
Well-
of the meet and greet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because you paid extra to get to that meet and
Gotcha.
greet.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things, and not to get too far off subject, was when we met Black Label, Zach Wild walked away from the band, walked up to you, because you're standing in a line off away from everybody else. He walks up, introduces himself, shakes your hand, gives you that bro hug, walks you over to the band, introduces the band
Each individual
Wow.
member, yeah.
to you, and then you get your photo taken.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then there was a picture that showed up on his Instagram. It was Berserker Kansas City chapter of the quilt making or whatever, because he always says that about whatnot. And that goes on his Instagram.
And that was the big group photo.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you look at that Instagram, I'm standing right next to fucking Zach Wild, and behind me is that guy because he's taller than I am. So we're right there. And it's easy to fucking find us because, well, Zach Wild's got the
horns.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, God damn it, my ears are fucking sweating. Sorry. I don't want to say he looks like the shaman from the January
January
6th.
6th.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Similar.
He's a big fucking Viking looking motherfucker. Even
But
though
he-
he's not that much taller than me after I got to meet him face to face and get my picture,
Right.
But he's, and of course he performed in a kilt.
Yes. And at that point, I am so glad we were not down front, because majority of the show, he's got one leg up.
Oh boy.
Yes. Whether or not he's wearing that kilt like a kilt is supposed to be worn, I don't know.
And you did want to find out.
We were in the balcony.
Gotcha.
I don't know if he's a true Scot.
I don't care.
True Scot, he wouldn't have had nothing on.
I don't care.
Might have to pay extra for the ball shots. Just saying.
Could have.
Yeah. Number 9.
Zach and his wild.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Freddy Krueger.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep. And number 10 is Leatherface
Okay.
from the Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Yep.
I can buy all those.
I know. I'm still hung up on no Pinhead.
Yeah, I agree. He should have been in there.
But who would you replace? The Chatter guy?
Yeah, I would replace the Chatter with Pinhead. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because how many Chatter costumes did you see at Spencer's Gifts as opposed to Pinhead?
Pinhead was everywhere.
Yeah.
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 And when you think of that movie, you don't think of Chatter.
No.
No.
No,
I
you
mean,
think of Pinhead.
he was creepy.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Pinhead was the fucking leader.
But here's the
He
thing.
spoke, and it
Yeah.
was scary.
Yeah.
And Pinhead was in every single Hellraiser.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd forgot
Only-
about that one movie you mentioned earlier, where they were trapping the ghosts,
Oh, 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts. Yeah, that was.
That should have been on the all-time scariest movies list, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, okay. There's that one with John Cusack, Room.
1408.
Oh, yes.
I was going to mention that earlier. That we watched that in the middle of an afternoon on a Sunday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I was off work and it was like 1408. Let's watch this. And we're like, after that motherfucker was over, I'm like, oh, okay, flipping through. Fridays. Okay, that's funny.
Something funny.
You know, so that movie, that was, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty creepy. Now, when you guys think of the scariest movie scenes, what comes to mind?
Braveheart.
Where he's being torn apart?
Nope. Where he goes into the one guy's room
No.
and he drops that mace and he
Crushes
fucking
his head?
Off a horseback.
crushes that dude's fucking head.
That was a great scene.
Oh, I mean, it was.
Yeah.
But as far as scary scenes go,
Yeah, scary. And some of these really, in my opinion, probably aren't Halloween movies. Some
the
Okay.
Stigmata,
Oh, yeah.
when Christ on the cross starts bleeding out of the eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to say, just taking a wild guess.
Okay.
It's a popularity contest, right?
Yes.
The scene in Aliens where the alien pops out of the dude's chest.
no, that's Alien.
Or Alien.
Yes.
You talking about Dallas's death,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That made number 9 on the list.
Okay.
Johnny Depp dying in Nightmare on Elm Street when the
Yeah.
blood just fucking shoots up on the ceiling.
Right.
Didn't even make the list.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
I know.
What about in The Thing where they're using the paddles on the old boy and his chest caves in and the chest bites the guy's arms off and then his head pulls off and drops down and then the legs pop out and it starts walking away.
You know, it should have been on the list, but
Should
it
have been.
wasn't.
Yeah. Bastards.
When Jason Voorhees jumps out of the lake into the boat.
I agree. That's a good one. Not on the list.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Some of these.
Okay. Let me take another wild guess here.
Okay.
When Hooper goes down to inspect the hole
And
in
the
the
head
boat,
pops
and
out?
the head pops out of the hole.
I agree, but they disagree.
When I seen that the first
I
time,
jumped.
I lost half of my popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
because I went.
That was a scary scene.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it didn't make the list.
Okay. Okay. In Scary Movie,
Oh, boy.
when everybody's sitting around and you got Ghostface saying, "What the? What the?" That's fucking scary scene.
But didn't make the list.
Jesus.
I know. But here's what number 1 is.
Wait.
Okay. He's got something.
I can see the scene. It takes place in a summer camp, and the end of the movie, you thought this person was a girl, but is actually a boy, and like the last scene is full frontal nudity, and it's like, ugh. And I'm not talking about a Ron Jeremy fucking porno. I mean,
He had us wondering for a minute.
Sleepaway Camp. That's what it was called.
Sleepaway Camp did not make the list.
Damn it.
These motherfuckers.
Number 10 is the final confrontation in Blair Witch. Remember where the guy's standing over against the wall?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's been 100 years since I've seen that, but
yeah, but I mean, it was okay, but I wouldn't consider it.
I mean, the head and the fucking hole of the ship's way scarier than that.
Yeah,
I mean, almost as bad as grab my strong hand.
Yeah.
Let me just mix it up.
Oh, wait. Where the fucking porn director got his dick bit off in Piranha.
didn't make it.
Didn't make it. Ah, damn it.
Neither did any scene from Sharknado. Just
Oh,
letting
man.
you know.
Oh, what
Jesus.
the fuck?
They've let us down. Number 9, of course, was Dallas's death from Alien.
Okay. Oh,
Oh yes.
I bet it's. Are you the gatekeeper?
Ghostbusters 2 or Ghostbusters?
I am Zur. Zool.
Zool.
Yeah. No?
No.
Motherfuckers.
Number 8 is when Rosemary sees her baby in Rosemary's
Oh,
Baby.
okay.
Yeah, when he
Okay.
final scene there.
What about the shower scene in Psycho?
Yes, you nailed it. That is number 5.
Okay.
Number 7 is, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Hereditary.
No.
I saw it about a month ago. It's weird, creepy. It's Peter's nightmare scene. Number 6, and I'm surprised you guys didn't mention this specifically in this part. It's been mentioned, but when Reagan spun her head in The Exorcist,
Oh, okay.
I almost said pea soup at the moment, but
and you'd have been close.
I mean, you know, I thought it would have been the part where she fucks herself with a crucifix, but I think I downloaded the wrong Exorcist.
Yeah,
like the old Richard Pryor. God, I know you're busy, but the devil down here fucking up. Girl, get that cross out your pussy.
Number 5 is, again, the shower scene from Psycho. Number 4 is in a movie called Suspira. Have you seen that?
No.
It's Sarah's reanimated corpse.
Okay,
I haven't seen that either. Number 3 kind of surprised me.
Oh, that's the shower scene from Porky's where Balla Brew grabs the dude's penis.
Ball breaker?
Yeah.
Breaker. Yeah.
Yeah, she grabs his penis. That's the scene, right?
No, but I like your thought here. That's
Christ.
good stuff. It is scary.
I hate to have my penis grabbed by her. Pulling it through a hole in the wall. That's, no.
Had to pass. No, number 3 surprised me because this isn't what I call a scary movie. The scene would be any man's nightmare, but it's the
John Wayne Bobbitt.
negative.
Damn it.
The man rape scene from Deliverance.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Make you squeal like a pig, boy.
He got a pretty mouth.
Number 2 is it's a movie called Don't Look Now, and there's a part called John's Foreshadowed Fate. I've not seen that, so I
don't
can't.
either. I can't.
And number 1,
Wait for it.
okay,
Hang on.
you got
I
it.
got it.
Let's hear it.
The number 1 most scariest scene in all of cinematic history is when Harrison Ford, as Han Solo, realizes that Princess Leia kissed her brother in Empire Strikes Back.
I'd have to say no on that one.
God damn it! Son of a bitch.
But that was a very popular scene in Arkansas. But
Yeah.
just saying.
And Alabama.
Yes. So number 1 is the dinner with the Leatherface family
Oh, okay.
from Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially where Grandpa comes alive, because you think he's just a corpse, but he's like, and you're like, the girl screaming, and I see
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Nothing from
House of a Thousand Corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses or Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
I mean, the part where they hook the dude up between the two semis and.
Or, what's the matter, kid? Don't you like clowns?
Dr. Satan!
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to come back here, and if you ain't got a good excuse, I'm going to kill your mama. I'm going to kill your whole damn family. You got me? Now get out.
Let's take a little poll among us here.
Yes.
Okay.
Vagina. Oh. I thought we were going to name things that we love. My bad. Shit.
How many? Okay, let me ask you guys this: do you guys believe in paranormal phenomena? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
And I would agree. Yes. What percentage of those surveyed in the United States do you think answered yes to that?
I'm going to say all the Irish, all the Native Americans,
All the Catholics.
Well, no, they attribute it to God.
Paranormal.
Yeah, but they might not consider
They may
that
not
paranormal.
consider it paranormal.
But I know what you're thinking there.
Most of the Scots. I'm going to say.
So basically, you're at 15%.
No, there's lots of Scots, Irish, and Native Americans in this country.
There's a lot of people that claim.
I'm going to say 45%.
Okay, what's your guess?
I'm going to go slightly lower and say 44.
Man, you're both very close, but James is the closest at 46%.
Son of a bitch!
Nice.
I think James, with his corrected vision in those glasses, he's able to see peripheral, and I'm just over here fucking blind.
I can't see his notes. It's too fucking dark in here.
That was from a 2019 Ipsos poll, by the way.
Ipsos?
Ipsos, yeah. In 2020, people.
There's probably, I don't know what the percentage of devout or religious people there are. Who believe in miracles, everything. Who's going to say that they don't believe in? I mean, they believe in life after death and everything, but they're going to say no. That's God wouldn't allow that. That's because a lot of them too. You talk about if you say something about aliens or anything, they're like, no, God created the universe and everything, and we're the only life. And it's like, how do you know
You don't know.
How do you know if he created the whole thing? How do you know that he didn't have another experiment on another planet just like us?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's not a God. I'm just saying if he created it all, he could have been saying, okay, we're going to try this here, we're going to try this here, we're going to try this here.
Absolutely. I think it's arrogant for us to think we're the only intelligent species in the galaxy.
Just look up at night.
Hold up. God created man in his own image, correct?
Yes.
That's what they say.
Okay. Now, in the Christian-based faith, that's it is. Now, Vikings, what they believe in? Odin
Thor. Yeah.
and Thor and Loki. Okay?
Valhalla was their
Exactly.
Yeah.
To heaven.
Egyptians,
Ra.
and Horus. Okay. Now let's say that they're all right. They're all true. The Greeks and the Romans, they believed in Zeus and Poseidon and Hades and the Titans.
Mars,
and
Jupiter on the Roman
Yes.
side. Yes.
Okay.
The Native Americans believed in the sun, the moon, the land, the
Right.
waters.
The Great Spirit.
The Great Spirit, the happy hunting ground.
Okay. Now,
A lot of familiarity there, right?
and then you've got the Wiccans, who believed a lot of kind of what the Native Americans were thinking, but they had different goddesses and different gods.
They believed in the spirits of nature.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what if they were all right? So, you're going to tell me that we are the only planet out of,
Billions and billions and billions.
or even just in our solar system, that we're the only ones that have living creatures?
Right. Now the debate is, do they have the technology to travel 100,000 light years to here?
Or
It's a good question.
Or is there another planet just like just like the Earth, in another solar system, in our same galaxy, that ain't having the same shit going on? They may not call them Republicans or Democrats, but they're Zulons and Ephrons, and they're
right,
and they're
fucking Zac
they're,
Efrons,
they're
them
Zac Efrons,
motherfuckers,
them
They're the
fucking
worst.
Efrons.
those fucking guys.
And
The
there's a-
Biebers
and
bother
they're-
me, but
and they're sitting there threatening a nuclear war on their planet.
But who's to say that? I mean, they all don't exist at the same time, and it was during the Middle Ages when the priests started dying during the plague, that you didn't have,
Well, you got to remember back in those. I mean, we're totally off the Halloween deal, but you got to remember back in those days, the priests, the rabbis, the religious leaders were the only ones that could read, and they told the people
What to
this
believe.
book said,
right.
and what the way they interpreted it.
correct. They taught them what to believe.
And that's why we had, because if you look at the three main religions in the world,
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
well, yeah,
Okay.
but you got Christians, you got Jews,
And Muslims.
and Muslims. They all came from the same book. It all started in the Old Testament,
Old Testament, yeah.
and the split between the Jews and the Muslims was, God damn it,
Bacon.
no, not Kevin Bacon. but they split off, and then the split between the Jews and the Christians was after the birth of Jesus. Christians believe that Christ was a savior. The Jews believe he was a prophet.
Yes.
But in the Holy Land for all three religions is in the same fucking spot.
So to speak.
So figure it out, motherfuckers. I mean,
So to speak. Because it's also believed that the Garden of Eden is actually in Iraq.
yeah,
The old Babylon
Yeah.
era, yeah.
Babylon AD. There was a kind of a cheesy metal band in the 80s.
It was kind of a cheesy fucking movie, too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways,
back to the Halloween special.
in a 2020 People magazine poll,
Oh, People Magazine. That's got to be true.
they polled their subscribers.
Right, right.
All
And-
4 of them.
And it looks like 3 out of 4 believe in the paranormal. So 63%, a little less.
Okay. Yeah.
57% believe in ghosts.
Okay.
Okay, that's a specific type of paranormal.
Right, right.
39% believe in extraterrestrials have visited Earth or are visiting Earth. 27%.
I mean, honestly, have you been to the DMV lately?
Yes, I have, and it is frightening.
Have you been to the grocery store lately?
Yeah, Walmart.
I'm thinking the zombie apocalypse is already upon us, because you see a lot of people walking around going,
And they're still in pajamas, like they raised out of the dead out of the bed.
I seen a lady, it's been a few years ago at Wood Supermarket. I'll go ahead and name it. Popular supermarket in Buffalo, Bolivar, El Dorado Springs, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I was going to get some hot dogs. I was going to go for some John Morrell, some cheap bar ass, whatever. I need some hot dogs. We were doing chili dogs or something. I don't know. And there was a lady standing there, and she was just zoned out. Now, granted, she was not in pajamas.
Okay.
That's good.
She was probably in her late 50s, early 60s, dressed nice. Not a bad-looking older lady. Looked like she'd just maybe come from church.
Ooh, okay.
That type of look, right? And she's sitting there going, for those who are just listening, I'm looking at a pack of hot dogs. She sets them down, stood back, and just stared for a little bit longer, and just kept staring. Picked up that same pack of hot dogs and stared at them for a little bit longer. And finally, I went, excuse me, grabbed my hot dogs, and left.
She was looking for the vegan hot dogs.
I don't know. I walked down the aisle, and I looked back, and she was still staring at the hot dogs.
Maybe.
I'm like,
She had a question, and you didn't answer, James.
Ooh, no,
she
no, no, no,
never
no.
asked.
Well,
I
you should
would've-
have read
I
her
would've-
mind.
I would have told her.
Maybe.
You don't want these. These will cause vaginal bleeding.
Maybe she
I don't
had
have a
just
period.
came-
I don't have a period anymore. No, these will give you vaginal bleeding. I'm telling you right now.
It'll restart you.
It'll restart you.
Maybe she had just came from the old Victorian steakhouse, which is now.
This was before there.
Ooh.
Yeah, she hadn't ate no gum. Well, I don't know what she done, but she didn't buy them at the local dispensary.
Okay.
But yeah, I was kind of like, I mean, you would understand that from the croc wearing, pajama pant wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
There's been a de-evolution of society. Yeah. Really?
Idiocracy.
I mean, do you guys remember when we were young, when you'd go out to eat, you dressed up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you actually, it's like wearing Sunday clothes.
Right.
Now you go in what you wear to bed. Really?
I don't, because I go to bed naked. So,
Well, to each his own. But
you know,
commando man.
I mean, I really can't do that, you know, but
In some places you can.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
Do you,
reason why.
do you bring a towel, though, so you don't get ass matter?
If you're courteous.
It'd be a good idea.
Yeah. If you're
Yeah.
courteous.
There's a reason why I stay in bed until I hear the bird in the morning saying, "Quack, quack." Yeah.
Okay.
And then even then, I stay in the kitchen until he actually comes out of the bedroom, because I may or may not have been at the table, and I heard I would I would like to say it was two people running a marathon.
Oh. I suppose you don't want to expound on that.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's why I stay in the kitchen, and
Gotcha.
got my AirPods, and I've got my iPad.
Sounds like a safe thing to do.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Just because we're old, I mean, shit.
Anyways,
27% believe in Bigfoot. 56% believe that some people can predict the future. Fortune tellers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one really blew my mind. I mean, this one just 51% of those polled believe that some people can read minds. Is that ever been a skill you've ever attributed to anyone?
I could read facial expressions.
That's different.
Right.
Yeah.
And in your line of work, you got good at that. I mean,
But that's not psychic powers.
no.
That's
no.
observation.
Observation. You
Right.
you can read. You know, you can tell when a motherfucker's lying because he's going.
His lips are moving.
yeah.
No, that's not my fucking math, man. No,
Don't belong to me.
You know, I mean, yeah, observation and stuff. I mean, and that's to me what I think a lot of psychics are.
Body language readers.
Body language readers, and they ask you questions, and you inadvertently tell them something that they can use, and
Absolutely.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's a far cry from actually me being able to say what you're thinking at the moment.
Write down something on that piece of paper, and I can go, well, you said bull nuts. And you show me your paper, and you got bull nuts on your paper. And I'm like, holy shit. You know.
You read my mind.
Yeah, but no. No.
What are your thoughts, man?
I just, look, here's the deal. I like to think that I can read minds when I've got a woman naked and she may be a little moist. I'm going to go off on a limb and say that she's turned on.
There again, observation.
Yes.
And in some cases, probably speculation. Just say.
Possibly. Or when you see a woman,
Lactating?
no,
No.
and her shirt is tinted,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's one of two things.
Cold outside.
It's either cold or she's really turned on. And I know what I look like in the mirror, so it must be cold outside. I'm just saying. I mean,
I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
We have seen my 2024 calendar.
The only thing I got to say on the Bigfoot thing is, in the 70s, I'd have liked to said, yeah, I think there's a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
But in today's world, with all the game cameras, and everybody's got a cell phone, you're in a fucking deer stand, whatever, and there's been no good pictures of Bigfoot.
Yes. They all seem kind of blurry, don't they?
And the one that all the Bigfoot guys say, "Oh, this is the one." No, that was the guy in the monkey suit. Because the guy that took the video basically wrote a bad check for the camera, and then there was a purchase of a monkey suit. You know,
The Gimlin video from California.
Was it Gimlin? I'm trying to think.
Patterson,
of the,
Gimlin.
The Patterson. The Patterson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
But
it is believed.
am I saying there's no Bigfoot? No, I'm just saying
The proof is difficult.
we got
Put a finger on.
We got a lot of cameras and shit out there that would say
It is believed that somebody paid Andre the Giant to put on a monkey suit
he
and
did.
walk across this field.
He did.
Well, he fought
It was called
Steve Austin,
It
didn't
was
he?
called Steve Austin.
$6 million man.
Exactly. It wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was a $6 million man.
Yeah. So there's that. My issue with Bigfoot. I do happen to believe in Bigfoot.
Right.
Okay. But my issue is, why hasn't there been some scientific piece, DNA or bones or something come forward?
Found a dead one yet.
Yeah. But why haven't we had that yet? And I happen to believe, I
They-
just
they-
am troubled
they-
by that.
They have found from like 40 to 60,000 years ago a Gigantopithecus
Gigantopithecus, yes.
who was about 8 to
10 foot
10
tall.
foot tall, covered in hair,
Of the gorilla
bipedal-
family or something?
bipedal primate.
Right.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
But I don't know. So we were going to talk about. Are we at the end of our list as far as
Yeah,
facts and stuff?
what,
Because we were going to talk about.
sharing some stories, maybe?
Yeah.
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 Do you have something you want to share?
I can. I told you the one earlier about the radio incident I had at work, where I turned it over to a rock station. This is back in the old dial days. And I went in my paint booth, and all of a sudden it went back to country. I'm like, it's fading in and out.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Went back over, and I literally had to turn it a quarter to almost a half to get back to my rock station. I'm like, okay. Went back in the paint booth. All of a sudden, back to country. I'm like, what the fuck? So I went back out. I'm there by myself. Doors are locked. Nobody can get in, out. So I go back over. I turn it back over to my rock station. And I'm like, all right, motherfucker. You get to listen to country all day long. I want to listen to some rock music tonight. When I leave, you can change it back. And it quit.
Well, you struck a bargain with it. That's
I guess, you know. I mean, it didn't throw me up against the wall and
Anal rape you.
they don't rape me. Yeah.
that's good.
That's what happened when he got home, though.
Well, we leave his private life out of this.
Actually, I was single at the time, so no, that didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Matt, you have a scary one?
Well, I've got one that's unexplained.
Okay.
So, in June 26, 2006, I'm in Iraq. And it's our last convoy with my buddy Matt Foster. And Brendan Lloyd had just came back off of leave. Now, Brandon was our truck commander, Matt was the driver, and I was up in the gun. And I was over the right front tire with my 50 caliber Browning M2 machine gun. And this is supposed to be Foster's last convoy, his last patrol. And looked at him and I said, hey, man, CAB time, brother. CAB, combat action badge. Those of us that are not infantry or medics, we could get a combat action badge versus combat infantryman's badge or a combat medic's badge. So we're rolling and we're going down, and then all of a sudden our truck hits an ID, or gets hit by an ID. We're on an S curve, and Foster is able to keep us up on the S curve. The truck gets hit right up underneath my gun, and it shoots my gun up off the truck, yada, yada. I get pulled out of the truck, so on and so forth. I thought I was blinded, but I did have safety glasses on, and I just got dirt up underneath my glasses and everything. And I'm sitting at the front truck, sitting on the side, got my helmet off, and all of a sudden a van comes around the corner. Now, at the time, we would the escalation of force was sign, laser, warning shot, kill shot. Van comes around the corner, and Charlie, he's up on the lead truck, gunner. He's got a little sign up, and then he pulls out his laser, and he's shining it at him. And at this point, I'm walking away from the lead truck towards that van. I've got my rifle up in my shoulder. I've got my weapon on fire, and I'm slowly starting to squeeze the trigger. I hear in my ear. Now, at this point, my eardrums are both perforated. I ain't hearing fucking shit. I hear Matthew. It's the only thing I hear. And at that point, I let the slack off my trigger, put my weapon back on safe, and I start backing away. No one's around me. I can't hear a fucking thing that anybody is saying, let alone somebody up on me. They didn't say Hembry. They didn't say Sergeant. They didn't say Matt. They said Matthew. And I heard that clear as fucking day. I can't explain it.
Wow.
I mean, it had that voice not come into my head, I was about to shoot up a van of innocent Iraqis with children and everything. So, That's my unexplained story. Yeah. So don't mind me as I sit here and I get completely naked and fucking.
Wow. Well, mine goes back to 1977.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was probably like 3 or 4 years old.
I was 10 years old.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And my family and I, our idea of vacations were camping trips.
Ooh.
Oh, we loved camping. And we'd spend the whole weekend fishing. At night, we had a fire and
Skinny dipping, I get it.
well, no.
Oh,
not
wait,
so-
no, wait. I'm sorry. You
Not
were
so
10.
much that.
You were 10,
I was 10.
not 20.
No.
He might have been skinny dipping. Parents weren't. Like, oh, you kids go frolic.
Yeah.
Oh, we stayed all pretty close together. But at any rate, we had this one place up around. You guys familiar with Osceola area, St. Clair County?
Yeah.
Okay,
Drive through there every other weekend.
you do. So
Yeah.
it was up in that area. There's an old resort there that I think had its heyday in like the 20s or 30s, and after it went defunct, all the cabins had been knocked down, and you could see, the like the foundations of the old cabins around the pole that would have had their telephone or whatever was actually trees with their branches shaved off that just drooped in between.
Right.
And up at the entrance to this resort was an old house that had been the caretaker's house, the guy who took care of the resort. And again, it'd been many, many years since anyone lived there. Well, we got started late, and we got up there, and it was dark. And rather than drive down all the way into the resort area, which is probably, I'm going to guess, between a half mile and a mile from the caretaker's place, on a little, not much more than a goat path type little dirt road,
Right.
we decided we would stay up at the top and park next to the old caretaker's house. And we were in a station wagon. And we would just sleep in the station wagon that night, and the next
Right.
morning go down and set up our tents and whatnot. Okay, so it's dark. We've basically, us kids are bedded down in the back, and mom and dad are kind of sleeping up in the back when they had bench seats, sleeping that way.
Right.
And I remember I was almost asleep, and I heard a big crack, like timber breaking.
Like a limb breaking off. or
Exactly, something.
Right.
And I don't recall saying anything, but I remember mom saying, "Jackie, did you hear that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And that was all that was said. I went on to sleep. Next morning, sun comes up. We head on down. We get down there, and we set up our tent. Dad had the ultimate set of camping gear. I mean, we had gas stoves and whatnot,
Right,
run by little propane things. And so we're setting all that up, and Dad has his hand axe, and he's going to go down and get us some wood for the fire that evening. And us kids are up frolicking around the tent, and Mom's cooking breakfast or getting ready to start cook breakfast. And Dad probably been gone 15 minutes, and he said, "Hey, Linda." He's probably 50 yards away. Down the bottom, there's an old dried up creek bed. He goes, "Hey, Linda, come here. I'll show you something." Well, of course, you got 3 little kids. They're going to be interested in finding out what Dad's got, right? So, so we all went down there. Mom and
because your sisters are younger than you.
they
so,
are. Tammy was about 7. Shauna was 3, 4,
Right.
somewhere in that range.
Right.
And so we head down there with Mom. We get down to that creek bottom. Dad's standing there, and he's pointing down, and we look, and there's a footprint in that creek bed. And this footprint is like this long. He goes, "Have you ever seen a..."
Which is about 18 inches for people who are listening.
That's correct. About 18. I'll absolutely confirm that later, but 18 inches. And Dad said, "You ever seen anything like that?" And of course, Mom's like, "No," and we're all looking at it, going. Now the print was like a barefoot, like my foot, but much larger,
Right.
and it is deeply imprinted. And I only remember seeing one. If there were others there, I didn't see them. I just remember that one. And I remember Dad saying something about, maybe we should go to town and get some plaster Paris or something, because this was really, I mean, who sees a footprint that large anywhere?
Right.
Right.
And so we were talking about it, and we head back up, and we get back to the campsite. And the campsite, like I said, about 50 yards from where that was at. And Mom starts breakfast. She's cooking eggs and bacon. We always had the works. And my little sister, Shauna, she was, again, 3-4 at the time. And she started getting very, very anxious, to the point she was crying, couldn't figure out why, and clingy. She was clinging to Mom's arm, to her leg, like this. And Mom's like, to the point, "Shauna, you got to stop. I'm trying to cook here, and Mom's doing her thing. And I remember, I think it was Dad, could have been Mom or Dad, one of them said, "Look." And we looked up, and beyond where that creek bed was, it went up a slight, gentle slope. And it's a wooded area, not densely, but there's trees around. And up about another 50 yards, so I'm going to say approximately 100 yards from where we're at, there's this large, fur-covered bipedal creature standing kind of behind the trees, kind of like he's looking at us like this. Here's the tree, and he's kind of, to one side of it looking. And we're all just, completely shocked. You don't expect to see something like that camping.
And it wasn't a bear.
Oh, absolutely not a bear.
Okay.
And I'll explain why in a moment.
Right.
It had big old balls and a penis.
Bears do too. Don't take away from the bears. But anyway.
They got bear balls.
So it seemed like at about the time that this thing realized that we had taken notice of it. I say he. I don't know if it's he or she. I can't.
It might identify as them.
It could be. By today's terms, it could be anything. Anyway, this thing turns and starts heading off to my right, back toward like the little dirt road that comes in, right? So it's headed back this way, and it's walking. Now, as it's walking, you can clearly tell it's not a bear.
Right.
A bear has a very distinctive lumber when they walk. This thing walked like you or I would walk, except it was very, very large. And so...
That's what she said.
Yes. And so, at this point, all of us are absolutely scared to death. And we just start piling crap into that station wagon. We'll tear the tent down, didn't even bother packing it away. Just closing it up, yanking, the pegs out of the ground, and we're just shoving shit into
Selling the
this.
camping equipment now. Fuck that.
Well, we packed everything up, but
Right.
As far as just like shoving it in.
Right.
And it was a mad dash. Dad always had his rifle with him, and that was the first thing he'd done, actually, was after we started packing shit up, is he got the rifle, and he set it there next to the car within reach while he's helping us get shit. Because we had no idea what this thing was, what its intentions were. So we get the station wagon packed, and we've got stuff even in the back seat, so much that I'm pretty much covered back there. Right. I can't really see anywhere, maybe out a side window, because we just got the shit packed in, and Dad's driving. We get going up that little dirt path, and we get up probably about halfway. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see this part because, again, I was completely enclosed by stuff.
Right.
And this thing crossed in front of us. Now, I mentioned to you earlier, and by cross, I mean cross the road in front of us.
Right. Like a deer would or coyote or whatever.
Correct.
Right.
And apparently, I mentioned a minute ago that the lines there were like the trees their branches had been shaved off, and then the lines drooped in between them as they go up fall in the road. This thing, according to Mom and Dad, because I didn't see it, but they told me when I asked what's going on, as it's crossing, it grabbed this line, which, by the way, had no electricity to it. This was a defunct campground.
Right.
Lifted that thing to go under it, right? And then crossed the road and off into the brush. And we just got the hell out of there. We obviously got home, and I know you've never heard the story because we didn't talk about this ever to anybody. Only in the last few years have I even started talking about it because most people are going to think you're crazier than
Squirrel
Right.
turd.
exactly.
Kind of like saying, I seen an alien spaceship land out in my driveway here. People think you're fucking crazy, even though you've seen some shit.
Absolutely. You see
Right.
something, you can't deny what you see. At any rate, once we got home, when we'd been in that creek bed, because we didn't get plaster Paris, Dad took one of the sticks he'd collected, and he notched it at the length and width of that track, so we'd know approximate size. So once we got home and things were settled down, Dad actually measured that stick, and it was 18 inches in length and 8 inches wide, which is a
Wow.
huge foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the average human foot's about 8 inches long.
Or a little, maybe a
Maybe a-
foot at most if he's a big devil, but
Well, I'm saying the average human.
yeah, average probably. And so sometime down the line, I'm not even sure it was that season, might have been the next season, we returned to that place. And when we got to the area where this thing crossed in front of us, Dad wanted to try to get an idea of just exactly how high it was. And as you remember, Dad was about my size, about my height.
Right.
And he had a hand axe about this long. And with him standing underneath it, he could barely touch that line. So we're talking something in excess of 7 feet
Right.
that this thing had to lift to walk under.
Well, see, I'm right at 6 foot. I can reach almost 8 feet.
Right?
Your dad, you're 5'6",
5'6".
5'6", something like that. With a hand axe, he could still probably reach 8, almost 9 feet
Maybe.
with a hand axe.
It wasn't a big, it's a
yeah.
small axe like this. It wasn't
Right.
just a hand axe, but still, he could barely touch that thing.
Right.
And this thing had to lift it to walk under it. So it was, whatever it was I know absolutely above 7 feet.
Right.
And it was huge. I mean, even at 100 yards and me being 10 years old, I could see this thing standing next to a tree, how big this thing was. So back to what we were talking about earlier. I am convinced that my family saw Bigfoot. Okay. But I am still troubled to this day as to why there's been no proof.
Yeah.
And, and the few people I've talked to about this, they have questions like, well, do you think it could have been a publicity stunt? And you have to think about things like that. But why would he pick a spot where hardly anyone ever goes
In the 70s.
in the 70s?
Right.
And we sure as hell wasn't going to the newspaper or police about it.
Right.
So he got no publicity from us. But if you're going to pick a spot to get publicity, aren't you going to go where there's more people, more chances of being seen? Maybe even standing along a wood line at edge of a highway would make more sense than being in this. And this is such a remote place.
Right.
It made no sense. So I have to rule out the publicity part.
Maybe Bigfoots are just that sneaky.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
Maybe they know where your trail camera is, and it's like, yep.
I'm going to skip that. Maybe.
Yeah.
So that's my
What was that, Harry and the Hendersons? Where they
adopt that Bigfoot.
well, they adopt the Bigfoot, but then when they take him back, all these other Bigfoots just start appearing out of the woods.
It's like they blended into the trees and they come out. Yeah.
Right.
So that's
I seen a weird deal one Halloween. Chris and I used to dress up and scare kids in front of his house over in Buffalo. Had a lot of traffic,
oh yeah.
and a lot of Halloween traffic. And he was sitting up by his porch. He was wearing a cloak and shit. And I was laying in the bed of a Ranger pickup truck. And I'm laying there, and we just started drinking. I had my first rum and Coke at that time. And I'm laying in the bed of this truck. It was actually Kathy's truck.
Yeah.
That was when her and I were together. I'm sitting there and I'm just looking up at the sky. I'm like, dude, look the fuck up. And it was like, because it was a starry night,
Yeah.
but it was like this V shape that blocked the stars.
Oh,
Plumb
wow.
out. It was just creeping.
Wow.
And as it creeped by, there was no noise. Was it a stealth? I don't know.
Creeping?
Yeah, it was just, I mean, I don't know how high it was, how big it was,
Gotcha.
you know, but it looked pretty good size. But whatever it was, I couldn't see through it to the stars.
Wow.
And it just kind of went over, and I said, did you see that fucking shit? And he goes, yeah, I need another fucking drink. But there was no noise. And I've seen stealth flyovers. You don't hear them coming. You hear them leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This thing didn't make any fucking noise.
Coming or going.
No.
Wow.
And like I say, this would have been early in the stealth era, but it was like, and I talked to Herbie about it, and he's like, I don't know, you know, but
Wow.
it might have been something we had, but like I say, it was just weird. It was just a big V shape, and whatever it was, I couldn't see through it to the stars. It had no lights on it whatsoever. It just kind of went. I'm like, that's freaky.
Not easily explained, is it?
No.
Wow.
I mean, maybe it is if we had the right scientists and shit in here. Well,
Yeah.
what you see was an anomaly of swamp gas.
Jupiter's shadow.
No.
Swamp gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was always the excuse back then.
Oh, yeah.
It was swamp gas or a weather balloon.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. The old standbys.
So, you know what? On that note, I think we've pretty much covered it all.
There's some freaky shit out there.
There is some freaky shit. Freaky, unexplained shit. But on that note, you have just watched another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents.
J&M, solve the world. I've been James.
And I've been Matt. And on behalf of Jack and everyone here, you have a safe and happy Halloween. And keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace.
Well, maybe not. Let's see here. Let's get back to...
Will be.
There we go.
There we go.